Guys, welcome back to another day. It's lovely and my mom here. Today we're going to do another video, which is
guys, today we are going to be talking about comparison of words that are being used to address certain items here in Ghana and in Nigeria. And that's because coming here to Ghana, despite the fact that Ghana and Nigeria we both speak English, coming here I found out that, or rather I got to see that there are items that we have a particular way of calling them in Nigeria, and they are actually, named or addressed in a different way here in Ghana. So the way this video is going to be going, Lovely will call those words in Ghana, and I will tell her how it's being called in Nigeria. So guys, are you ready? Lovely baby, are you ready?
of course.
She says she's ready, so let's get the show moving. So guys, you're welcome back, and I'm going to make it a little bit easy, because if I were to call it in the Nigerian way, perhaps she wouldn't know. So Lovely has a piece of paper here that she has written down a couple of words for items here in Ghana, and she would call them out for me, and I would tell her what is called in Nigeria. So
okay, so for some of these words, I actually sat down and we heard about this, and so we got some words that we thought were good, like for Ghana and the Nigerian. So we ready to go?
yes, we are.
First is dawn, like when it's like I think some 6 or 4, 5, 6.
Yes, from
Like it's getting to morning, dawn.
okay. So in Nigeria we say morning.
But it's not yet morning because
It's morning.
It's dawn. It's not like yet. Oh, the sun is not yet up in the sky and it's like shining bright. It's dawn.
So it's see. Okay, you people call morning here in Ghana dawn. We call it morning in Nigeria, and I
so
think.
they call morning.
So what is dawn?
Dawn is dawn.
Dawn is dawn. So what is morning?
Morning is morning.
So you see, that's the thing. As long as it's morning, it's generalized as morning in Nigeria. And from what I'm seeing here, around that 4 to 6 thereabout, you see, is dawn. Then maybe from 8 till around 11 is morning.
Yeah.
So everything in Nigeria is generalized as morning. And if at all we were saying dawn, maybe it was after I left primary school, but I know that we grow up until date we say morning, whereas here it said dawn in Ghana.
Okay, so the next on my list is red oil. Like the red oil we use to cook our foods.
So we call it palm oil because actually it's made from the palm nut, okay?
But us Ghanaians,
yeah,
we call it red oil because it's red. It's red. And it's also oil we use to cook. I don't know if that's like the thing for all Ghanaians, but that's what it is for me. So if you feel like it's not correct, so please help us out in the comment section.
Yeah, but actually coming to Ghana I realized that it's been called red oil. And to tell you guys the truth, despite the fact that I have been here for quite a number of years, I often make the mistake of saying, please give me palm oil. And I quickly recollect myself that they don't even know what is palm oil. So I have to, give me red oil. How much is red oil? And truth be told, it's red. But back home in Nigeria, we call it palm oil because it's, carved out from the palm nut fruit. Okay? So we have what again?
Senior high school. Like most of us, when we are like graduating from the JHS, we go to the senior high school. We call it senior high school. I don't know what Nigerians call it.
So in Nigeria we call it senior secondary school. And
so SSS.
Yes, SS. And I remember when I was in secondary school, then we used to call it junior secondary school. So for the JHS here, right? Junior high high school. It's not called a junior high secondary. It's called junior high school. So back in Nigeria, we call it junior secondary school. And back then, when I was writing my exams for my JSS, yes, which you guys call BEC, although it's also BEC right now in Nigeria. When I was writing, we called it Junior Secondary School Examination, Junior Secondary School Certificate Examination, JSSCE. And then for what we have here, the SHS, senior high, we used to call it then Senior Secondary School, SSS. And of course, when we were preparing for our examination. It was called SSCE. You get it. So honestly speaking, when Marvelous, of course, Marvelous entered secondary school before you. When Marvelous got to JHS, and she used to come back, JHS. I'm like, what is JHS? And she's like, junior high. And I'm like, so you see, these are the things, despite the fact that we are both English speaking countries, but we have our ways of calling
some particular words.
Yeah, so let's move.
The next is needle. We all know needle, like needle, the one we used to like drink tea or something.
Needle. Needle. This one actually got me, rolling on the floor. So we call it milk. But then again, in Nigeria we have different brands of milk, just as they have it here in Ghana.
But we call like
basically
milk.
Everything needle.
But they call the cow milk the liquid milk.
Really?
Yeah, so like liquid milk, but the one that is in powder form is the needle.
The needle milk.
Yeah.
So we in Nigeria, see, and again the thing is that needle is a brand of powdered milk. But coming here to Ghana, if you're going to buy any milk powder form, they call it needle, right?
But there are some that they call it non-dairy.
Non-dairy.
Those ones are different. What is it not like?
The non-dairy, okay. So coming here in Ghana, it's kind of confusing. But let me let you know, if you're going to buy milk in Nigeria, irrespective of the fact that it might be liquid or powder, we say we want milk. The only difference is that when you get there, you might say, I want this type of milk, okay?
You're going specific.
You call the brand of the milk you want, okay? So in Nigeria, we have different brands, and yes, I have seen those brands, a few of them here in Ghana. So I want to buy milk, and the seller is, what milk do you want? You say, give me so milk. Or like here, they even say,
I want to buy needle, like,
and let me tell you guys, when I came to Ghana initially, if I go to the market, I would want and I want to buy milk. I'm like, please give me milk, and they're like, what is milk?
What's milk? What kind of milk?
What is milk? And I'm like, I have to start explaining to them
in a different way that they
will not say
understand. Needle.
So I had to understand that if I wanted to buy powdered milk,
call it needle. So they want to understand that you both won't get confused.
Yeah.
So the next is mate. It's not like classmates or anything. It's like, when you enter a bus and you're going somewhere, and then the conductor, that's what they call it in Nigeria, the mate. We say Kaswa Kanesh, Kaswa mate. Yes, the mate.
Accra, Labas. So that person that collects the tea fare from you, that person that boards, calls passengers to board the vehicle is mate.
Like in Ghana.
So like you said, we do call it conductor
right.
in Nigeria. And you know that, see, let me tell you guys, honestly speaking, I used to dread entering public transportation, the trotro. I used to dread it because, of course, at one point in time you have to do mate. I think of all the words in Ghana that kind of were different from what we used to call in Nigeria, mate was one that I just couldn't bring myself to call. So that most times, if I'm entering a public transportation, what I have to do is that I always try to sit close to the conductor, to the mate, so that I don't have to start shouting, or not shouting perhaps, I don't have to start saying mate, because it was just one word that just couldn't come out of my mouth.
But you know that right now she actually sits at the back of the bus because she knows how to say mate. I think it's even like, sometimes it's like, you feel nice when you're saying mate because it's like you're smiling, mate.
Now I've gotten used to it. So I could sit anywhere in the vehicle because if I needed the attention of the mate, all I'll just say is mate.
Okay, that we all know flash.
So okay, so in Nigeria, actually we say you have mess or you've polluted the air.
Hey.
But quite a number of people used to say mess. And coming to Ghana here, I'm hearing them say, oh, you flash. And I'm like, flash. But flash in what way?
But some people like they're highly educated, like the trade, they actually say you're farted or you're farts.
Yeah, because that is actually the right, word to describe the action that had taken place.
But most of them say flash.
And we say you have mess or you pollute. Okay, so like she said, the educated ones, the highly educated say you have farted. So I think that's the way it is in Nigeria. They will say you have polluted the
Yeah.
air. So the next one is what?
Okay, this one. Some people, like, when they are struggling to find houses and they just see, oh, they just stumble upon some places and they're like, okay, this is a chamber hall, let's just get into it. The chamber hall, we will just rent it for like 1 month, 1 year or so. Chamber and hall. So Miss here says she doesn't know what's chamber and hall.
No, I don't know what a chamber
Chamber
and hall
is now,
yes,
but before.
Then, what's a chamber and hall? So when I get okay, so like I said, when I came here newly, I did not rent a chamber and hall, so I did not really know what a chamber and hall was. It was quite later on that I knew what a chamber and hall is, and even at that, me saying I knew what a chamber and hall is, it was that I knew it as a room and parlor because that is what we call it in Nigeria, a room and parlor.
But when you say room and parlor, it sounds so dull because you see the chamber and hall, like you have your chamber, you have your hall.
So yes.
So it's combined together. But when you say the room and hall, it doesn't feel like
a room and parlor. So
sorry.
Ghanaians don't say a room and parlor; they say chamber and hall, and we say a room and parlor.
And I can't really get myself to say room and parlor because I've gotten used to the chamber and hall, and I don't know for her maybe she's gotten used to the room and parlor.
No, you see the thing is that if I am talking about things in reference to Nigeria, accommodation and all that stuff in reference to Nigeria, I would always refer it to as a room and parlor. But when I'm talking about accommodation in reference to Ghana here, I use chamber and hall. I mean, this is something that over the years my brain has conditioned and understood that this is how it's being said. So I could never miss or mix it when I'm talking about both countries.
Then she used to, when she wanted to say chamber and hall, she would mix it and say room, and then she would change it and say chamber and hall.
Because then, then was the initial stage of grasping all of this and that. So let's move to the next.
Okay, the next is kose. Kose.
Kose, that's akara.
Kose. Okay, kose we all eat it with like cocoa, thank you, cocoa.
So when we came initially to Ghana, of course, cocoa and kose is breakfast kind of food, and I usually do get it for the girls most times when we are on the run and on the go like that. I would go there and say, please give me akara and pap,
and they'll be like, what's akara and pap? Because they don't call it pap, they don't call it akara. But some people call it pap. Like some people that like
have pap is actually different from cocoa here, right?
Yeah. Pap is different, but some people call it pap because they're not talking about cocoa. And most of us, like majority of us, like Ghanaians, we call it
cocoa and kose. Guys, do you know that till date when I want to go and get them kose and cocoa at times, I'm like, please, can I get akara?
Because even at home here, sometimes when she has beans and
it's akara,
she said, I'm gonna make akara, I'm gonna make akara. And so we've gotten I and my sister we have little.
You know that it's called akara
in Nigeria. So when we're at home and mom's making bean akara, we say, Mom, I also want akara. But when we're outside, it's not like we say akara, like we forget, we forget the word and we actually say kose.
Guys, it's one thing to relocate when you're quite mature. Most of the things that you knew, you don't just throw them away. They are they're innate, they're in you, so you'd always remember it. And because these were things that we used to talk about or we used to make mention back in the day, so at times I'll just is it instinct or what do I call it? I'm like, give me akara, please. And I think to an extent, most of the people who sell these foodstuffs actually know that we Nigerians call it akara. So when I make that kind of blunder, we just laugh off.
Just laugh off. They say, oh, you're Nigerian, this is that. Yeah. And everybody just laugh off and forget the matter. So next on my list is bowl fruit.
So we call bowl fruit puff.
Okay, it's quite understandable because it's like puff, but we call it bowl fruit, like bowl fruit, the English name.
And this is one other word that Ghanaians call that I am highly impressed. Now this is not shading Nigerians, but I'm like, if we have to imitate the white people, then why don't we get it right? Just puff puff. Now, like I said, this is not shading my brothers and sisters, but then again, buffalo or buffalo. I mean, it's only nice that we just call it buffalo. And let me tell you guys, this is one of the Ghanaian. Oh, sorry, this is one English word that the Nigerian. This is one of the English terminologies that Ghanaians, call, and I love calling it. I don't even say puff puff. I'm like, give me buffalo, buffalo. Is it buffalo or buffalo?
Buffalo. But like then she used to be saying puff puff. But like I don't really hear her saying puff. I didn't remember the last time.
And that's because I said that it is one word that I feel in my tank of knowledge. I'm so happy that I know it, So
okay. So the next one is porch. We all want a porch. It's like we just make your house, and then there's like something in front, so you can just sit down and relax.
So like most times when you go rent the chamber and hall, they say you are renting the chamber and hall with porch. So we call it frontage or veranda.
Okay, I like that veranda. Even in my former school, we used to say, "Oh, I'm going to the veranda."
Well, you guys know veranda.
Yes, veranda. But I didn't used to call it veranda. I'm just saying I'm going to the porch.
So you guys you don't use veranda for
it's
the
not like
frontage of the porch.
No.
So we call it porch. I'm sorry, we call it veranda or we call it frontage. But most people call it frontage.
But as most of us here in Ghana, we call it porch. It's like quite rare to hear some of them calling it veranda because.
So let me ask you one question. What's a parlor called here in Ghana?
Living room.
A parlor is called living room.
A living room.
Your living room is called parlor in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's see again. Now this particular one she wants to talk about. Till date, I'm like.
It's not even that shocking, right?
No, it's not shocking. It's not shocking. It's just that I'm like.
We don't really say.
We don't say it in Nigeria, and we say good morning.
It's not fine morning because, like, we are mentally prepared for the fine morning because, like, someone's greeting you, good morning. Oh yeah, fine morning, because. We want you to have a fine morning, but then
we want you to have a good morning. We want you to so we say good day. What do you people say? Fine day.
Fine.
No, do you people say anything about we could say I'm wishing you a good day. So if you want to say, Mommy, I wish you a good day, what do you say to me?
I don't really know because I've not really heard most of them saying good day in English.
Here.
Yeah, because they always speak their native language and they also always say it in.
So how do they say it in the language?
I don't really know.
So you see, guys, when we came here to Ghana initially, and you know how you come across somebody and you're like, good morning, and you're expecting a good morning, the next thing you hear, fine morning. Till date.
That's their way of responding.
Yes. But back in Nigeria, if you greet, the next thing you get is a good morning too. So you can imagine I'm like, good morning, sir, good morning, ma. The next thing I hear,
fine morning, my daughter.
What is fine morning? But then again, these are things that you said differently, as against Ghana and Nigeria.
But I think up to now she still says good morning.
Till date I still say good morning.
She has not yet gotten.
No, because I've come across some Ghanaians that actually say good morning. Now I do not know if it's because quite a number of foreigners have come here and they greet good morning, or it's just part of what Ghanaians would say.
Some people say good morning,
but the majority
say fine morning. Especially those they're close, their friends, and they greet them say, good morning, my sister. Yeah, fine morning. Yeah, like that.
Fine morning, Atise. So let's go to the next
The last,
but
not the least.
Never, because as we get more words, we'll come and do a part 2 to this video and all of that. So the last but not the least is
toffee,
which actually is the right word, but we call it sweet. See, let me tell you guys, growing up I knew there was a word called toffee. I knew that was the the right word for
the Nigerian tongue.
But the Nigerian, see, we Nigerians, we just can't be caught last in whatever we are doing. I read one post somewhere that says we have the British English, we have the American English, and guess what, guys? We have the Nigerian English, and the Nigerian English must always show forth in everything. So like I said, growing up I knew the word toffee because in English language, growing up teaching us in school, they would tell us this is toffee or this is candy. But we Nigerians, sweet. Auntie, I beg give me sweet, 5 naira.
Stubborn head.
You go to buy it in the mall. Ah, please, oh, this sweet. Ah, what's the name of this sweet? Because you know all toffees and all candies are sweet. So coming here to Ghana, when I used to go and buy, you know, their school essentials, and I'm buying all those things for them.
Just little snacks on the side.
Snacks even for at home, and I get, you know, to go and buy sweets. And the seller tells me this toffee goes for 80 cedi a pack and all of that. And I'm like,
sweet.
It is well. So guys, these are the few words that we've been able to combine and, you know, compare. And I said that hopefully if we do get other words, we are going to, you know, compare and contrast. So lovely. We've come to the end of today's video. What do you have to say?
Okay guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to comment if you have anything to say.
So guys, thank you for watching this video, and don't forget that in due time I'm going to be creating a channel for Lovely. Yes, because I see that she's a natural in front of the camera, and when I do that, guys, I'd want you to please subscribe to the channel. Of course, help Lovely to grow. I just want her to, you know, finish the first term in this new school. Although I've seen her test result and I've been getting good results from the teachers, yes, but I just want her to settle down this first term. Her result will determine how quick we're going to, you know, start her own channel. So guys, I know my baby girl here is not going to disappoint mommy. So when I do it, she's going to come here, call the name of the channel, and I'd love for you guys to go show her some good love and support. So guys, thank you for watching today's video, and we'll see you another day. Bye.